Hey, this is Jason with Banna Properties. As a real estate investor, I often get asked what to do with unwanted property. What should I do with property that I own that I don't want? So if you have a piece of vacant land and you are looking to sell it and you'd like to know what to do with it, I want to just talk to you shortly in this video about what you can do with that unwanted property. Maybe you own property in states like Florida, Texas, Arkansas, Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee, New Mexico, Nevada, or any other state in the United States. And possibly you bought this property or it was inherited. Maybe you inherited it from a loved one who passed away and you've never even seen the property. This is very common. Or the property is in another place far away. You inherited it, but you're not sure what to do with it. Possibly you bought the property, but your plans have changed. Maybe you've gone through a divorce and because of that reason your plans have changed, you don't want the property anymore, or you've moved on in life or to another state, another job, etc. Another common one is that you bought the property for retirement. If you bought it for retirement purposes thinking maybe I'm going to retire there, and then you found a better opportunity, you made another decision, that happens too. Or another very common thing is that you own property and you don't really want it anymore. You've got behind on your property taxes and you need to pay them, or you could possibly lose your property. So what can you do with a property like that? If you're paying taxes on a property you need to sell that property fast. For whatever reason that I've mentioned, if you have property and you don't want it, you need to sell the property. Let's just be very clear on this. You need to sell it, and you need to sell it as fast as possible because those property tax bills are going to accumulate whether you want the property or not. So I want to talk to you about selling it yourself. The first step is obviously to sell it yourself. Some steps that you need to do is to hire a photographer or a drone pilot. You might be able to just take a couple camera pictures of the property, but if you live in another place, it's not close or convenient for you, you need to find a good, trustworthy photographer or drone pilot that does work on real estate property and knows what they're doing, and it could go out and take a good set of pictures. And you need to be very clear when you hire them on what pictures they need to take, what angles, etc. You can also create a listing with property information. You're going to be asked things like the parcel number, the legal description, and for a GIS or a plat map of the property. These are probably the most important elements in a property listing for someone that's looking to buy property, to do their research and their due diligence. And you're also going to need to know things like the zoning restrictions in that area from the county office. Also, information about the area and its location and directions to the property. These would be important to put in the listing. And then you can post your land. You can post it on Zillow, you can post your land on Craigslist, and you can put an ad in the local paper. So I wanted to take a second and just show you what that looks like. Zillow, you can actually select here, instead of houses, which most people use Zillow to find, you can select only lots and land, and it will show you different pieces of property that are for sale in the area. And as you can see, here's a property, 5 acres, $55,000, 1.3 acres, $49,000. It tells you the days on the market. So these properties have been sitting on market for about 6 months. You can see one here that's been on the market for several years, 846 days on Zillow. And you can see the map that they have. This is actually a plat map or a GIS map. People for your listing are going to want to see this to see roughly the size and the dimensions of the property. Okay, and you can actually click sell, and you can post for sale by owner, and you can post your own ad on Zillow. It will come up differently than the agent listings. You can see one other listing. That's how it's going to show up. Okay, and then Craigslist, you can also post your property on. It's free, same as Zillow. And this is Craigslist Chicago. I'm under real estate, and you can see there are houses, commercial buildings, and land. They're all mixed in together. But you might get someone that is interested that might click on the ad, and you can simply put in some pictures, and you can see again the satellite maps and information about the property and your contact information. I did mention classified ads. Many people do still look at newspaper classified ads and online classified ads, particularly when they're looking to buy land. This is Just a quick Google search, Atlanta, Georgia, patch.com has classifieds for Atlanta. And you can see an ad here. This looks like it's a realtor, but it looks like they have an ad for a house, so you could just as easily put a piece of property on. Now, the difficulties is that you need to meet with buyers, you need to talk to them on the phone, you need to communicate with them in different ways, and most likely they will want you to meet them at the property or have someone meet them at the property so they can see the property, and you walk them around and show them where the property lines are, etc., etc. So this is the process to sell your land yourself. Now, it does take quite a bit of work and preparation, and it is a slow process. As I showed you there on Zillow, some of the newer postings were 6 months old. There were some on there that was 864 days, so it's 2.5 years, almost 3 years. So sometimes property doesn't move as fast as you'd like. But there is another option when you want to sell land that you don't want anymore. There is no reason to be holding on something and paying for something that you don't want or use. And that option is to sell your land to a land buyer. I'm a land buyer, and there are many other land buyers in our network. And how does a land buyer work? A land buyer is an investor that is buying the property from you directly. So we will do all the research and all the paperwork for the property. We do our own due diligence on the property. We'll be in communication with you. And then we make you a fair cash offer. Now, you could potentially make more money selling the property directly yourself. But like I said, it's quite a bit slower and it's quite a bit more burdensome and process. There's more work to it for sure. So you have to value your time in that. We make you a fair cash offer. This is a direct, fast cash offer that we are going to come through on, and we pay all the closing fees. We also will put cash directly into your hand. There's no middlemen, no realtors commissions or anything like that. So that offer that we are making you is a net to you. And if there are back property taxes owed from previous years or the current year, we will figure that into our cash offer and we will pay those property taxes. So this is a great way to sell land fast. If you have unwanted land that you would like to sell, then I would encourage you to fill out the form here on our site, and we would like to give you an offer, a cash offer for your property within 24 hours. Thank you so much, and I hope that this video has helped you with dealing with your unwanted property.